Hi, Christina.
Hi, Mara. What brings you here?
Oh, I was just passing by, and there was something I wanted to ask you about.
Okay. Well, I was just getting ready to take the dog for a walk. Do you want to come with us?
Sure, I love dogs.
Great. This is Charlie. Just a second. Let me get his leash on.
Good boy, Charlie. Can I walk him?
Of course.
He looks so beautiful.
That's because of my husband. He spent the morning brushing and cleaning him up.
Well, he did a great job.
So, what did you want to talk to me about? Something about work?
Well, about your work, actually.
At my store? Sure. What do you want to know?
I'm curious. Why did you decide to open your own business? And why did you choose a clothing store?
Those are good questions. My father was a tailor and my mother was a dressmaker. As a result, I've always loved clothing, ever since I was a little girl. So opening a clothing store seemed like the natural thing for me to do. I think it's really important that you do something you enjoy.
Yeah, it must be nice to have a job like yours. The freedom you have, and you can be creative and be your own boss.
You sound like you don't enjoy your job.
No, not at the moment. Not for a while, actually.
Really? What's wrong with it?
Oh, a lot of things. For instance, all I seem to do is deal with other people's problems, like issues with their pay or vacation days. And I hate being stuck inside an office all day, staring at the clock.
That does sound depressing.
I wish I had a job where I could be outside, work at my own pace, and be free.
Such as?
I'm not sure. I guess that's the problem. Any ideas?
What other kinds of jobs have you had?
Let me see. Before this job in finance, I was a server, but that was back in college. During high school, I had a lot of jobs. For example, I was a babysitter and a dishwasher at a restaurant. I worked in a pet store once, too.
That's why you like dogs so much.
Exactly.
Charlie really likes you too.
He's a great dog.
Since you like dogs so much, how about becoming a professional dog walker? You're really good at this.
You mean owning my own business? Like you?
Sure. I could help you figure out how to get things started.
I like that idea. What do you think, Charlie?
Look at that tail wagging. I think he likes that idea too.
I'm on my way to Lane Cove, where between 20 and 30 whales have come ashore and can't get back out to sea again. When I get to Lane Cove, I'm going to meet Sam Collins from the Marine Life Service. I'm going to help Sam and a team of local people try to save these whales. Okay, I just arrived and talked to Sam. It's pretty cold, so I think I'll change into my wetsuit before going on to the beach to work with other people who've come here to help these whales. So far, about 50 people have showed up, and more are coming. If more people come, we'll have a chance of succeeding. So, I'm on the beach in a team of 4 people, and we're taking care of just one poor whale. Sam says it's a female, and what we've done is we've covered her with wet towels, and we're pouring buckets of water over her to keep her cool. We have to be careful where we put the towels. If we cover her blowhole, she won't be able to breathe. Sam says our whale's in good condition, and he thinks she'll survive. The tide's coming in soon. I'm going to help dig up sand around the whale to make a hole. When the water comes in, it'll fill up the hole. Better get going. Yes! Success! The tide came in, and our whale floated again. There were about 5 of us. We pushed, and she fought back a little. Then she took off. What a great feeling! She's swimming back out into the ocean. I think she's going to be okay.
Kim from Canada.
Well, I've been living in Ecuador now for a long time, and my friends here always say that there's real time and then there's Ecuadorian time, and I think it's true in a way. There is Ecuadorian time, and it moves a bit more slowly. So if a meeting starts at 10 o'clock, you don't have to be there at 10. You can come maybe 15 or 20 minutes later, and that's fine. Or if people invite you for a party at 7, you definitely shouldn't arrive at 7 'cause you'll be too early and no one will be there. You should arrive maybe half an hour or even an hour later. Some friends of mine here are from North America, and they grew up with the idea that you always have to be punctual. So they sometimes find it pretty difficult when people don't show up on time. But I really like it. It's so much more relaxed, and I think people have more time for each other, and that's really important. The funny thing is that because I'm from Canada and people know that Canadians are supposed to be punctual, they expect me to come on time, and they always say, "You must not be late. You must come on time," even though they're often late themselves. We always laugh about that.
Will from the U.S.
I remember when I was working in Nigeria, there were a few things I had to get used to. Like, for example, if you're talking to someone you don't know well, you shouldn't look right at them or look them in the eye. Instead, you look down slightly. When I was first there, I found that really strange. I thought, well, don't people like me or what? But in fact, it's a sign that you respect the other person. So I had to get used to that. Actually, it's the opposite from the U.S. In the U.S., you should definitely look the other person in the eye when you talk. People think that shows you're honest. But in West Africa, people think that seems aggressive, and it's polite to look away slightly. But I have to say, I never really got used to it. I always wanted people to look at me. That's my culture, I guess.
Daniel from Brazil.
I've been in the U.S. for a couple of years now, so everything seems pretty normal to me. But one thing I still find a little strange is attitudes toward children, especially bedtimes. Like, if you're getting together in the evening and there are adults and children, at a certain time, maybe 7 or 8, all the children have to go to bed, and after that, it's just adults. And for me, that seems really strange, because in Brazil, children can usually stay up as long as they want if there's a party going on or a family get-together. You know, they don't have to go to bed at a fixed time. If they feel tired, they can just lie down for a bit. My American friends tell me it's important that kids have to sleep because they have school the next day and so on, and I do get that. I can see it's very sensible, and their children probably learn better. But I think children should join in the life of the family, and it's a pity if they can't be part of it, you know? That seems more important to me.
Japan has by far the highest number of vending machines per person in the world. In fact, it has 5.6 million. That's one vending machine for every 20 people. These machines sell all sorts of things, from coffee to bananas, flowers, and umbrellas. In a busy society, they play an important role. It's much cheaper for sellers to run a vending machine than a store, and customers can buy things more quickly and easily from a machine than in a store. And we're not talking just about drinks and cold snacks. Japan also has vending machines that serve hot food, like instant noodles. Japanese students love curry and rice. It's one of the most popular meals there. And sure enough, you can get it from a machine. The meal comes out of the machine hot and ready to eat. It's more convenient than cooking at home. But is curry and rice from a machine as good as curry and rice from a restaurant? Our reporter, Luke Spencer, went to central Tokyo to find out.
Okay, I've just put my 300 yen into the vending machine and I'm waiting for my curry and rice to appear. It's taking a little longer than I imagined. Okay, so my meal is here. I just have to open the packet of steamed rice. The curry smells, well, it smells okay, like a lot of instant curries. Okay, let me go and find somewhere to sit down and try it. Okay, this will do. Well, this is pretty good. It's actually much better than I expected. What can I say? I think it might be the best vending machine meal I've ever eaten. Just not the best curry I've ever eaten. For 300 yen, that's less than $3. I can't really complain. But I think next time I'll spend a bit more and go to a real restaurant.
Hi, am I late?
No, you're right on time.
Great. So, are you ready to go shopping?
Oh, yeah. You know how much I love shopping.
Come on, it's Julia's birthday. What are you going to get her? Still looking at jewelry?
Well, I've been thinking about that.
Oh no, don't tell me you've changed your mind.
I just don't know what kind of jewelry to get her.
That's why I'm here. Come on.
I was thinking of getting her a book instead.
A book? Who buys their wife a book for her birthday?
She loves books. Well, what would you recommend?
Books are great, but do you think that's enough? I mean, that sounds kind of boring. It's probably worth thinking this through a little more. Don't you want to get her something special?
Yes. What about a new video game? Do you think that's a good idea?
I'm not sure. Is it what Julia would really like?
She likes to play games with me sometimes, but I just don't know. What do you suggest?
Well, if I were you, I'd go with jewelry. A necklace or a pair of earrings. Look, these are gorgeous.
Really? They're so plain. I think that pair with spikes looks cooler.
I guess they're cool, but it's much better to buy something that's her style.
This is so hard. Do you think I should just ask her what kind of earrings she likes?
No, that's not a good idea. I think she would rather you chose something. You can't go wrong with these earrings.
The plain ones?
They're not plain, they're classic, elegant. She'll love them, trust me.
Okay. Happy birthday, Julia.
Thank you.
I got this for you.
Should I open it now?
Sure. I hope you like it.
Earrings? I don't believe it. Wow, these are gorgeous.
Seriously? You like them?
I love them. They're exactly my style. How did you know?
Well,
I'm so impressed. You really understand my taste.
I do. I mean, yes, I think I do.
Can I tell you something funny? I was sure you were just going to get me a book. And that would have been fine. But these earrings, wow!
A book? You're kidding. Come on. Who buys his wife a book for her birthday?
Yeah.
Jeff.
I like eating out, but I don't really like expensive restaurants. It's not the money so much as the atmosphere. The waiters are often unfriendly, and you feel you have to talk quietly, or I do anyway. No one seems to be very relaxed. And the food can be good, but you don't often get much on your plate. I'd rather go someplace where the food's good and you don't have to pay so much.
Fabio.
I love going to cafes, either with friends or on my own. I sometimes take a book or a newspaper to read, or I just order coffee and sit there. Sometimes I start talking to other people. In fact, I have a good friend that I met in a cafe. We started talking and then found out we both liked the same kind of music. I like sidewalk cafes best. You don't have to think about anything. You can just sit and watch the world go by. It's a great way to pass time, I think. Very relaxing.
Carla.
I really love dancing, so I often go out with a group of friends to a club in the evening. It's such a good way to spend the evening. We usually order some food, maybe just some appetizers and some grilled meat, and something to drink, and then we start dancing. A favorite place of mine has live music, and we all dance Latin American dances like the salsa or merengue. It's really cheap. You have to pay something to get in, but not much. And it's always full of people, maybe 200 people all dancing. It has an amazing atmosphere.
What are you reading?
Nadia just sent me the link to this list of 5 reasons why small towns are better than cities. What are you laughing at? Small towns are better than cities.
Yes, if you want to have nothing to do and never meet anyone new.
Well, I loved growing up in a small town. There's a real sense of community. People care about you. It's like you belong to one big family.
Yes, I know you like that. But I've always been a city boy. I love being in the center of things. There's so much going on here. Movie theaters, restaurants, museums. And there are so many more work opportunities in big cities than in small towns.
But there's also more crime. Life's more dangerous here.
Actually, research has shown that it's safer to live in a city.
Really? I find that hard to believe.
Yes, some researchers did a study in the U.S. that compared the number of accidents in cities and rural areas. And in the country, there was a much higher number of accidents than in the city. Car accidents mainly, because people drive more in the country.
That makes sense if you think about it. And hospitals are nearer, I suppose, so you get help quicker in the city.
Exactly. So it's actually safer to live in the city. And it's better for the environment.
Really? Why do you think so?
Well, you can't rely on public transportation in the country like you can in the city, so you have to drive more. It's been proven that if you live in the city, you actually have a smaller carbon footprint, especially if you live somewhere with good public transportation.
I've definitely noticed that I walk more now that I live in the city. Everything's closer, I guess. And it is nice not to have to get into the car just to go to a supermarket.
You see, there are a lot of advantages to living in a city. You can't argue with that.
No, I can't. There are definitely advantages. But I still miss my little hometown.
I watched this true crime show last night. It was really disappointing.
What was it called?
It was so bad I've forgotten the name of it. Thing is, the trailer for it made it look really good.
Yeah, that's so often the case.
Some of those trailers really hook you in. They make TV shows and movies look a lot more interesting than they are.
Well, they spend a lot of time and money making trailers.
Really? I thought they just took a few scenes from movies and kind of edited them together.
No, it's much more technical than that. I read an article about it.
So, what do they do?
Well, some researchers did an experiment. They used software to follow the facial expressions of a group of people who watched trailers. Then these people were asked which of the movies they'd like to see. So, from the facial expressions, they could figure out whether the people were amused or fascinated or bored, and then they used this information to predict whether people would like to see the movie or not.
But that's just research, isn't it?
Yeah, but it also meant movie companies could use the information to come up with a model for making really motivating trailers.
So, how does that work?
Well, I can only tell you what I read. But the most important things are the way the trailer starts a bit slowly and then builds to some kind of climax. And if you're going to have a longer scene in the trailer, that should be at the end of it.
So they've got it all worked out?
Looks like it.
It's kind of depressing. More algorithms to make us do things.
Doesn't have to be. I mean, you can always read reviews. And I'm always interested in finding out about the latest marketing trick. That way you aren't fooled by it.
Annie.
Well, my music experience sort of started when I was 7. It was my grandmother who started it. She gave me a CD of samba music. I loved the rhythms. I played it constantly. My mother says I was always dancing to it. Samba music is Brazilian music with African rhythms, and it's very loud, very energetic. Eventually, I decided I wanted to play the music, not just listen to it, so I saved up and bought a drum. It was an atabaque. It's a drum you play with your hands. I taught myself to play it. And this year, I played in my first street carnival. We were playing in the street and people around us were dancing, and it was like my whole body was part of the rhythm. It was incredible, the best thing I've ever done. So now I've decided that I want to be a music teacher.
Jeff.
Yeah, well, my music experience was going to the opera. I was traveling through Italy with a group from my university. We got to Verona, and there was an outdoor opera festival. I wasn't really interested in opera, but my friends persuaded me to go. To be honest, it was kind of boring at first. But then it started to get dark. It was a clear night, and you could see the stars. I was sitting next to one of the people in my group, Laura, and it was, romantic sitting under the stars, listening to this amazing music. And, well, we've been together ever since. We even went back to Verona for our honeymoon, although we didn't go to the opera.
Erica.
Some of my friends ask why I like hip-hop, because they're into really different kinds of music. More pop, R&B, kind of more romantic. But I really like hip-hop. I think it started when I was about 16. I remember I was in a car with my brother and his friend Rick. They were older than me, about 18. And we were listening to Jay-Z, I think it was. And Rick was singing along. And I started noticing the words, how they were really different from the songs I normally listened to. They were all about the place where he grew up and the tough times he had, things like that. Really different things from the songs I knew, which were all about falling in love and stuff. And I got so interested in it. And Rick, that was my brother's friend, he lent me some of his favorite albums. And I've listened to hip-hop ever since. And Rick, well, we're actually married now. So I guess you could say we met through hip-hop.
So, what are you doing this weekend, Amanda? Anything fun?
Actually, yeah. Milo and I were thinking about going to hear a jazz band tomorrow night. You and Caleb should come too.
Oh, that's a great idea. Let me just text him and see if he'd like that.
Tell him the band is supposed to be excellent.
Where are they playing?
At the new jazz club in town. They have live music every Friday, and it's supposed to be really nice. I think you'd love it.
It sounds really interesting. Wait a sec. Caleb's texting me back. Sorry. He says he doesn't like jazz that much. Why don't we go to the classical music festival at the university? It's supposed to be really good.
I'm not a big fan of classical music. I'm sure Milo would like it, but not me. Hang on, Milo's texting me now. Just a sec. Okay, he says we could go hear that local band, the Snowmen. They're playing at the Empire tomorrow night. They have great reviews.
Yeah, that sounds cool, but I'm not sure Caleb would be interested. What kind of music do they play?
Hang on.
You'd think it would be easier to find something we all like to do.
I know, right? Milo says they play rock, but it's kind of retro 1980s, so Caleb should like it, right?
Just a second, let me check with him. I doubt he would be interested, though. He hasn't gone to a rock concert in about 10 years.
Wow.
Oops, I'm wrong. He says, why not? Something different. Let's do it.
Great. I'll let Milo know.
So, what time does it start?
Hang on a minute.
Caleb says we should all wear crazy 80s outfits.
No way. Tell him to wear something cool. Okay, Milo says it starts at 8, so we should meet outside at 7:30?
Great. See you there.
Hi, Renata. It's Amanda. What's Caleb wearing tonight?
You don't want to know.
That bad, huh? Well, Milo wants to know so he won't look out of place.
What's Milo wearing?
Some leather thing from the 1980s. He looks really silly. How about Caleb?
He's wearing his jacket from high school. I think it's pretty ugly, but he insists that it's cool.
Okay, well, Milo won't be the only one who looks out of place.
We can sit on the other side of the theater.
Anna.
I got 2 free tickets to the Kendrick Lamar concert. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Kendrick Lamar, one of the biggest hip-hop stars, for free. So I invited my friend Camilla, and she said, "No thanks." And I said, "What, are you crazy? It won't cost you anything." But then she tells me she doesn't like live music. She'd prefer to stay at home and listen to music on her computer. I find that very strange because, for me, music is something full of the singer's feelings. And if you can watch a singer perform, you can see what they're feeling and experience the music much more. But Camilla thinks recorded music is better because you can hear everything more clearly. The quality's better and you don't have crowds around you, and it's just easier to enjoy it. For me, it's more important to see the song come to life when the singer or band connects with the audience. And the other thing I love about concerts is the music is really loud. Anyway, Camilla won't be coming with me, but a lot of other people will want to.
Camilla.
My friend Anna invited me to go to the Kendrick Lamar concert next month. She managed to get a hold of 2 free tickets. She's very lucky. She asked me to go with her, but I said no. She thinks I must be crazy saying no to free tickets. I mean, I really like Kendrick Lamar, and I have all his albums, but I just don't like going to live concerts. I really prefer listening to music at home or through headphones. In a concert, singers and musicians always make mistakes. The rhythm is a little off, or they play notes that are wrong or something. And you see, mistakes can be fixed in a recording. Well, that's part of it. The other thing is, but I didn't tell Anna this, I hate the crowds, and there are usually so many people that you can only see the singer on the big screen. So what's the point? I know a lot of friends who will want the ticket. It was very kind of Anna to ask me, but no. How was your vacation, Gina?
Oh, it was great. Thailand was beautiful. The food was amazing. But the best part was when we went scuba diving.
Scuba diving?
Yeah, it was amazing. We went to this gorgeous island called Koh Tao. Everyone there told us how amazing the diving was, so we decided to give it a shot.
Wow, so did you have to do some training before you went in the ocean?
Yes, we took a 3-day course called PADI. We did a few sessions in a classroom and in a pool, but by the second day, we were already diving in the open water.
Was it scary? I think if I went, I'd be terrified.
I was a little worried about it at first. You imagine sharks and running out of oxygen and stuff like that. But I relaxed really quickly. There were so many amazing fish to see. The colors were fantastic. On the 3rd day, we went to a place called Shark Island. Luckily, the name comes from the shape of the island. It looks like a fin, not the local wildlife. The coral there was just so beautiful. All these gorgeous colors.
It sounds perfect to me.
It really was. If you get the chance, you should definitely go scuba diving. If you went, you would absolutely love it.
Okay, well, if I ever go somewhere like Thailand, I might try it.
So how are you? What's been happening here?
Not much, really. Oh, but I've just signed up for my first ever run.
Wow, cool. Is it a marathon?
No, not quite. It's only 5 kilometers. I wouldn't do a full marathon. I'm not in good enough shape. This one's not a timed race or anything. It's just for fun, really. It's called the color run because every kilometer they cover you in colored powder paint. So by the end, you're all covered in different colors.
That will be fun.
Yes, I think so. And it'll be a lot more relaxed than a regular race. Not quite so competitive, It's popular with a lot of different people, not just athletes. And at the end of the race, there's a big party with a lot more powder paint.
Cool.
You should do it too. It would be more fun if there were a big group of us going. Would you like to try it?
Yes, I would, but I don't know. If I were in better shape, I would definitely do it.
Oh, come on. It's not for a couple of months. You've got loads of time to prepare.
Okay, why not? Sure, I'll give it a try.
Thanks, Noah. So have you...
Not yet.
Right.
I'm going to see my manager today.
Oh, how do you feel?
A little nervous. How did you feel when you did it?
How did I feel when I asked for a promotion? Fine, I think. You have nothing to worry about. I'm sure it'll be okay.
I wish I had your confidence.
So, do you have an appointment set up with your manager?
No. Do you think I need an appointment?
Absolutely. Look, why don't you meet over lunch, away from the office?
Is that a good idea? To ask for a promotion over lunch?
It would be a more relaxed setting than in the office.
I'm still worried that something will go wrong. What if she doesn't think I'm right for the job? Then I'm stuck having lunch with her after she's turned me down.
She's definitely not going to say no. You are perfect for the job.
But what if?
All right, enough.
Do you know what you want? The spaghetti is amazing here.
I don't know. Maybe just a pizza.
So, Noah, ever since you started working at Wilson's...
It's been a long time now, hasn't it?
Yes, we actually did our final interview for your position here.
Really? I don't remember that. I thought that was somewhere else. I'm so glad I got the job, though. I really love working here. At Wilson's, I mean, not here, at this restaurant. That reminds me, though, I need to book this place for the office party next month. Let me just make a note of that before I forget.
So, anyway, as I was saying, you've really grown in this job.
Thank you. I think so, too. In fact, I think I'm ready for…
Are you ready to order?
Oh, we haven't even looked at the menus yet. Could you give us a couple more minutes? And do you recommend the spaghetti?
Of course, it's our specialty. And yes, I'll come back shortly.
Noah, there's something I want to ask you.
Oh, yes, me too. But before I ask you, could we talk about the Fitch account? I have some ideas I think you'll really like that could help grow the account by 20% next year. I was thinking…
Listen, Noah, I'm trying to offer you a promotion.
What? Wait, really? That's so funny. I was just going to ask for one.
You've done such good work, and I think you're ready for a bigger challenge. Are you interested?
Could I think about it for a bit?
Oh, sure, of course. Take a day or two and let me…
Okay, I'm done thinking. I will definitely take the job.
Wonderful.
And I will definitely take some of that spaghetti.
I finished studying to be a nurse at the University of Wisconsin, and I was expecting to get a job in a small hospital somewhere. But then a friend told me about Now Volunteer, and I decided to apply. I'd always wanted to go to an African country and use my nursing skills to help people, and here was a chance to do that. So I decided to take the opportunity while I could. I had to raise $500 before I went, but that was really easy. I got 2 hospitals to sponsor me, and then I borrowed some money from the bank. So I went to Madagascar and joined a team of people working with a local supervisor. We set up a program where we went to different villages and taught basic ways to improve hygiene and avoid catching diseases. For example, we gave instructions about how to avoid catching malaria and distributed mosquito nets. I think we did some good. I hope so anyway, but I also learned a huge amount from it. I was suddenly in a completely different culture, teaching people who had such a different lifestyle from my own, so I think it made a big difference in the way I see the world. And I also made some very good friends over there, both local people and other volunteers. We had such a good time together, and we've kept in touch since then. After I came back, I got a job at the University Hospital, which is one of the best hospitals in Wisconsin. I'm sure I wouldn't have managed to do that if I hadn't worked in Madagascar and gotten this practical experience. So I'd recommend Now Volunteer to anyone. I think their programs are great.